So in the series of videos for the class on the 10 disciplines, this is number 2, the second discipline, which is what we call the anger workout. This is a really, really important one. This is such a big deal, and it's such an issue in so many people's lives that I actually have another course called The Alchemy of Anger that deals with this. So to some degree, we're just going to be kind of skimming the surface here about anger and about emotions, and why it is that we need to be able to pay attention to them. So the basic idea of the anger workout is to pay attention to our feelings. It's important that we know what our feelings are, and we tend not to know because there's certain feelings we don't want to have. So consider for yourself, what is the feeling you most don't want to feel? For most people, in my experience, that's anger. I don't like being angry. I don't like it when other people are angry. Other people don't like me when I'm angry. So I'm just not going to be angry. Something happens, it's not that big a deal, doesn't really bother me, I'm just going to stuff it. And something else happens, and yeah, okay, no big deal, stuff it. And I stuff it, and I stuff it, and I stuff it, until my anger bag is just so full that something happens, and I could be a little pissed. So I reach in for a pinch, and I come out with a fistful. Whoa! So I stuff it and I stuff it. I got to keep it hidden. I don't keep it hidden, right? Other people know I'm angry. They see me as walking around just sort of leaking anger. And I can't tell you how many couples I've worked with where, he says, I'm not angry. And she says, oh, yes, you are. She feels it all the time, right? Or the other way around. It's not just a male thing. It tends to be more true with men than women. But women can be harboring a lot. We all can be harboring anger. What is anger anyway? Anger is the feeling that naturally arises when we experience hurt or even harm as a result of somebody else's choice. If somebody makes a choice and it hurts me, I'm going to be angry. Maybe just a little bit of anger. Maybe I'm just peeved. Maybe I'm just a little aggravated. Maybe I'm just a little bit of pissed off or furious or enraged. So there's this whole scale of words and concepts that we have that are basically on the anger continuum. And so just being bothered is a low-grade kind of anger. And if that happens enough, it can be a really big deal. And so fairly often what we will discover is that we have an emotional reaction to something that is bigger than the thing that triggered it. Why am I making such a big deal out of this? Because I've stuffed all the other feelings. So we don't want to stuff our feelings. That's harmful in a number of ways. The feelings, the sensations, the emotions, the wishes, that which is within me that nobody else can see, those feelings, are things that arise as a consequence of what's happening to me. And if I know what's going on with me, I know it's information, it's data, but it's also a motivation to do something. If I put my hand down on a hot stove, I want it to hurt because I don't want to cook my hand. If I'm walking across the street and I look up and I see a bus barreling down at me, I want to be afraid because the fear will motivate me to get my ass out of the street. I want to have my feelings. Do I? Well, I want some feelings, but I don't want those feelings. If we have a lot of feelings and it doesn't feel safe to allow us to know what those emotions are, so we're busily suppressing it, one of the things that will happen is that we will, and some of us are better at this than others, some of us are kind of genetically in a predispositioned to have a really good depression mechanism. So our depression keeps our emotions suppressed. It's just what that's for, so I don't have to feel those feelings. So the more feelings I have, the more depressed I become. So one of the things that you can do if you're depressed is to be angry. Just let yourself be enraged at all of those things that are pissing you. Oh, no, I can't be angry. That's not safe. So the idea of the anger workout is simply to seek your feelings every day in a context that's safe for you. In general, what you want to do is feel them in your body. So if you're doing something physically active, you're going for a walk, you're throwing rocks in the lake, you're going for a run, you're working out at the gym, you're feeling the feelings in your body. Or you can just sit in your chair and breathe. You just breathe in. Thich Nhat Hanh has an anger workout meditation. Breathe in anger, breathe out peace. Breathe in anger, breathe out peace. And you just do that, and you're inviting in the anger, and then you're letting it go. As we become more and more comfortable with our anger or with whatever feelings are arising for us, we notice them more and more. I don't want to be more angry. I'm not more angry. I'm more aware of the anger that's always been there. I want to be more aware of whatever emotions are arising. The problem is if I'm aware of them, I'm going to go off on somebody. I'm going to say something I shouldn't say. I'm going to do something stupid. So part of what we're working to be able to do here is to take, okay, there are these feelings that happen, these emotions. Can I be fully aware of what my interior experience is? But I'm not going to translate that into behavior. So just because I'm angry doesn't mean I have to go off on somebody. I can be perfectly calm and centered and know who I am and know what I'm about and be furious, but it doesn't look like anger to others. When Rosa Parks did not give up her seat on that bus, she was angry. She said she was tired, and I'm sure that was true too, but she was angry, but she didn't behave angry. She just sat there. She pissed off a lot of people around her because she was, in fact, expressing loudly a kind of social fury, which brought about the Montgomery bus boycott, transformed human history, particularly in the South. Right? So our emotions can be very powerful if we make them an agent of our transformation rather than just simply going off. Okay, so I'll certainly grant you that anger can feel really dangerous, and certainly it is in many circumstances. And many of us have been in families where anger was a really dangerous thing. So we're afraid of anger. We're afraid of our own anger. But it is a naturally occurring human emotion. You're not angry. Nobody's angry because they like being angry. People like sometimes expressing the anger because it's such a relief to let it out. But it's not the anger itself. It's the act of relieving it. So do that every day. Every day, do something that allows you to release and express your anger. But be safe. Don't rehearse violence. If you're somebody who yells at people, don't do an anger workout by yelling. But a client of mine some years ago would never speak. So what she'd do is she'd go out to a remote place in a park that felt safe for her, but where there was nobody around, and she would yell. She'd let it out. So I have many more stories about people doing anger workouts, and I'll do that. I'll share more of those in the longer course on the alchemy of anger. But the short answer with regard to that course is that when we really know what our feelings are, we know where they're coming from, they know what they're telling us, and we can use not just the information that they're giving us, but the energy to act in ways that are creative, that move us towards what we need, the anger turns into love. It turns into a loving transformation of the world. Start by simply being aware of your emotions and being aware of whatever feeling it is you most don't want to feel. And that's probably anger, but it might be sadness. It might be guilt. I even had a guy I worked with some years ago, what was joy. Joy was scary to him because as a kid, his mom would say, "What are you so happy about?" Whatever feeling you don't want to feel, go looking for it and let that feeling know that it can run, but it cannot hide. You're going to find it because your boss, it's not. Don't let your feelings dominate you. You're in charge. But you also have to be aware. Right? The only mistake you can make is to not pay attention. So that's the second discipline. Stick with it. It's so important. It's so important to do every day. Do your anger workout. All right. Stay tuned.